At the Odio's palace, a somber silence fell over the assembled villagers and warriors, who feared they had lost their hero. But a wave of jubilation erupted when Ogwaro appeared, approaching the palace with his wife, mother, and 2 newborn babies in their arms. His wife had given birth to twin boys a month prior. Ogwaro had run home immediately after they had won the battle to meet his family. Without anyone's noticed, he could hardly contain his joy at finally meeting them. The entire village celebrated, honoring Ogwaro as if he were royalty. Even the Odio joined in, allowing Ogwaro to receive a king's welcome in recognition of his bravery and the birth of his sons. In the palace gathering, Ogwaro named his twins in front of the crowd, calling one Idudu and the other Ogwaran. The people cheered and celebrated, eating and drinking as they rejoiced in the arrival of the new generation. For a period of time, peace reigned across Ofagbe. The warriors' unmatched wisdom, strength, and skill had earned them victory after victory. Surrounding kingdoms, battered and humiliated, withdrew to rebuild, vowing vengeance. He who fights and runs away live to fight another day, the elders often warned. Yet the people of Ofagbe savored the rare calm, knowing it would not last forever. Years passed, and the twins, Idudu and Ogwaran, grew into boys of astonishing strength. Though only 7 years old, their towering physiques and boundless energy made them the pride of the village. Villagers whispered tales of their feats, some real, others exaggerated, but all inspiring awe and admiration. At early hours of the first day of the planting season, Ogwaro, his wife, and their servants prepared for the annual trek to their farmland. Ogwaro was determined to claim the title of the largest farm owner once again. The road to the farm teemed with villagers, their tools slung over shoulders, chatting and laughing as they anticipated the season's labors. The conversations among the villagers, however, often drifted to Ogwaro's sons.
"I saw him last week,"
one farmer said, his voice tinged with wonder.
"They were lifting boulders as though they were mere pebbles."
"Did you hear about the test stone?"
Another chimed in.
"Both boys lifted it together. I swear it nearly cracked under their strength."
"They're destined for greatness,"
a woman added.
"The gods themselves must have blessed them."
"Ogwaro," a man called out, "why didn't you bring your giants to the farm? With their strength, you could clear double the land." Ogwaro chuckled.
"They're still boys, despite their size. Let them enjoy their childhood. They'll have plenty of time to work in the years to come."
The group reached the farm as the sun began its climb. Ogwaro led the men in clearing the thick undergrowth, while his wife and the women planted yams and cassava. The morning passed in a symphony of chopping blades and rustling leaves. By midday, the workers paused to rest beneath a sprawling mahogany tree. The women unpacked roasted yams, fishes, and fresh palm oil, their aroma filling the air as the group shared a hearty meal. The peace was shattered by a sudden rustling in the thickets. Ogwaro was the first to react, reaching for his bow and signaling his servants to arm themselves. The women and children huddled together, their eyes wide with fear. The rustling grew louder, and Ogwaro tightened his grip on the bowstring, waiting. When the intruder finally emerged, the group gasped. A massive moose, its antlers spreading like twisted branches, stood before them. The beast hesitated, its dark eyes scanning the humans. "It's a beast!" a servant shouted, breaking the silence. The moose snorted, its muscles tensing as it prepared to flee. Ogwaro loosed an arrow, but the moose turned at the last second, and the arrow struck its flank instead of its head. With a pained cry, the beast bolted into the forest. "After it!" Ogwaro commanded. He and the men gave chase, their feet pounding the earth as they pushed through dense undergrowth. The moose led them on a wild pursuit, its strength waning with every step. Finally, cornered near a shallow stream, it turned to face its pursuers, its breath ragged. Ogwaro knocked another arrow, his movements calm and precise. This time, his aim was true. The beast collapsed, its massive body falling with a thunderous crash. The men cheered, their voices echoing through the trees. News of the kill spread quickly among the farmlands. "Ogwaro has done it again," farmers exclaimed. "He's rid us of a menace that threatened our crops." When Ogwaro returned to the mahogany tree, his wife embraced him.
You never cease to amaze me.
She said, her eyes shining with pride. "And you are my greatest treasure," Ogwaro replied. "I'd be nothing without your strength and wisdom." The servants lashed the moose to a sturdy pole and hoisted it onto their shoulders. The procession back to the village was a joyous one, with villagers singing and laughing as they anticipated a grand feast. But as they approached the outskirts of the village, the mood shifted. Thick plumes of smoke rose into the sky, blotting out the setting sun. The jubilant songs faltered, replaced by cries of alarm. The village was in ruins. Flames consumed the thatched roofs of homes, and the air was thick with the acrid stench of burning wood. Women and children, including Ogwaro's twins, were nowhere to be found. The men who remained roamed the wreckage, their wails of grief piercing the night. Ogwaro stood, frozen, his mind racing. A servant approached, his face pale. "The invaders took them," he whispered. "The children, the women, they're all gone." The once celebratory group descended into chaos. Men cursed the gods, wept for their families, and clenched their fists in rage. Ogwaro, his face etched with determination, turned to the villagers. "This is not the end," he declared. "We will bring them back." By dawn, the surviving men of the village gathered at Odio's palace. Some sat on the ground, their faces buried in their hands. Others paced, their anger barely contained. The palace buzzed with activity as plans were drawn. Scouts brought word that the attackers were warriors from Ashaka, a powerful kingdom to the north. Ogwaro addressed the assembly, his voice steady despite the turmoil in his heart. "We are Ofagbe. We do not cower in the face of adversity. We will march to Ashaka and we will bring our families home. Together, we are unstoppable." The men raised their weapons, a collective roar of resolve echoing through the hall. The rescue mission had begun. What will become of this mission? Stay tuned to discover the outcome.